All right, welcome to the Lionsgate and 8th of the 8th. So we're going to have a channeling today. I sense it's going to be from the Sirius family, the lion beings of Sirius. We're going to see who else comes through though, because it might not just be the lion beings of Sirius, and we have other benevolent friends who want to bring love and support. So stick around and see what's for us now. I'm just going to say a few words before we begin, then we'll have a little mini meditation to help us align so that we can really receive and get the most out of what's going to be channeled through the transmission. So thanks so much for joining us. It has been a strong day. So just to speak a little bit before we get really into it on how it's been a strong day at this end, there's been a lot of focus for me and the guys I've been working with today on physical healing. And what it keeps coming to my attention is that the trauma stored in the physical consciousness, in the physical body, in the physical that's manifesting in physical reality, has a very strong ability to take control, to take the steering wheel, and actually be what drives us. Just at the moment, there's a lot of emphasis on this at the moment, and what the guides keep bringing in. And Jivaran and I connected this morning, and thank you so much. And yeah, very strong day. Oh my gosh, isn't it? And it's like what the guides have been bringing in is that in some of our wounding stories, in past lives, in this life, some of the things we've inherited through our ancestral lineage, some of the things that we contain within our DNA, we've inherited through our spiritual lineage, our stories of becoming that we've lived through many different incarnations, not always in this one system, not always in this one planet. There can be key events which, when they generate trauma of some sort in the physical field, and I'm going to put trauma forward as this is a metaphysical definition, not a clinical one. We're not talking about body trauma, clinical trauma, psychological trauma. The metaphysical definition of trauma that I use is any experience had by the self that is less than unconditionally loved. I mean, you could put the whole of the human experience in that bracket, couldn't you? And I always think of us as veterans, recovering from this in some way. So when we have those traumas, physical bodies, in our physical dimensions of the self, they can actually kick us off a timeline. They can kick us onto a different timeline. So from a healing timeline, from a wholeness timeline, from an upward trajectory, they can kick us onto a lower timeline where until the vibrations of trauma that stay stuck in the field throughout reincarnations, that haven't yet been processed, until those vibrations are dissolved in grace. There's part of a lot of our internal awareness is on a high trajectory of consciousness where we've done a lot of inner work over the years, many of us. We've met our stories. So many of us have met our stories again and again and again, and just turned up and faced them, turned up and been with them, turned up and healed. And here we are having these stories manifest in our physical bodies, the same patterns reappearing as with physical symptoms. And I know I was speaking to someone today who was like, oh gosh, I can't be bothered. Do we really have to face this again? It's like, yes, you're calling home everything that's manifested in your physical experience until it holds that beautiful resonance of divine oneness, reflecting outwardly the grace and the divinity, the love and the harmony, and the wholeness that we know we are inwardly. And so this is strong stuff, I think. No? And yeah, Mary, you've just talked about being raging furious, and I am so with you on that. I've had fury come up, and on the other side of fury, I've got my fire. Well, on the other side of fury, there's the grief, and when the grief shifts, something is coming back, something wants to be reclaimed now. So we've got these key themes of shifting and clearing. I say, you know, that the fury that's been coming up, if you feel this, we're about to go through a gateway. And I was saying to another friend today, it's like a gateway is like a doorway, an energy gateway is like a doorway, and it's like we are lions. I agree with you. Yes, I've heard a lot of roaring, grief and fury, and there's been the roar. And for me, coming up to the Lion's Gate, it feels like I've had this huge rucksack of past baggage on my back. And I'm coming to this gateway, and the rucksack's too big to go through. It just will not fit through the doorway. So up it all comes on these days before we go through. So if you've been with us, my heart goes out for you. And I know we all have our unique experiences, but it is nice to connect, to share, to say what it's been like. Now it helps us realize we're not going through this alone. Not only do we have the support of the guides, our beloveds, all that is unconditional love, we've got each other. And it's just helped me so much to connect with so many of my beloved friends and connections and people that I work with today, to remember that. So it's a few words on just the energies of now. Beyond what we've been working through, there's excitement about what's coming in on the other side of the gateway. And this is where we get to align the body with its highest vibration, its highest timeline. We get to vibrationally align the body consciousness with its highest potential timeline. We're talking about past lives and unhealed trauma knocking us into lower vibrational timelines. There's an intervention coming in today, right now, that is to help us with this. And by doing the way that we're doing that is, my sense is that we're shifting vibrationally, this is what the meditation is for, into that resonance. It's like if the body consciousness has layers, and some of those layers contain stories. And right at the top is here we are now. Beneath all those layers, if you like, or beyond all those layers, get hung up on directions. Beyond all those layers, there's a level of the body, the self, that is also the body, where it's resonating, always resonating in oneness, in harmony with itself. And when we can drop beneath the trauma layers into that place where we are, just for a moment, maybe touching down at the bottom of the ocean in that peace, beyond all of the stories, we're going to touch a resonance there, a vibration that will work its way back up through those stories and invite them home. So we're going to go into meditation now, just a short one to help us align and get and receive the most from whatever the guides are going to bring us very soon. So yeah, we're invited now to take a few moments for ourselves and close the eyes, the outward facing eyes. Imagine those eyes are looking inwards, dropping down now into the heart and center, as though there's a comfy recliner seat right there for us now. We're going to rest within our own heart space, as though this is our safe space in this moment. Here, there is stillness beyond all the movement. Here, there is silence beyond all the sound. And just take a breath. And so that's all there is right now. The breath, and the breath in how it feels in the body. The flow of that in and out. Up and down. Don't worry if the mind is busy. Don't worry if there are distractions. Just keep coming back to notice the flow. If your body is telling you it needs to distract you, just say, I see you. I know, it's okay. And come back. Reassure the mind that it's all right. We'll get round to all of your worries later. Right now, we're just going to pay attention to the sensation of breath in the body. There's nothing else in existence. Maybe the flow, maybe it feels like that extends even beyond the body. Maybe it feels like it's real tight in. Maybe it's all of that and then some. Here in the still place, in the center of the heart, we are connected throughout the dimensions of ourselves. This is the guides already coming in. There is nothing that does not respond, that does not feel the call to harmonize. Throughout the dimensions of the self, when we come home to this stillness, this space, always here within us, this nothing and no one has rights that can get in between our attention, where it's focused, where we choose to place this focus. That is sovereign. Your choice of where to place your attention is sovereign. Everything that stimulates, that arises, that brings itself into your field of awareness and swims to the forefront of your attention, everything that's asking you to give it your attention, everything that jumps up and down, everything that tugs at your heart, everything that tells you you must feel guilted or shamed or compelled or urgency to give it attention, everything, no matter how fearsomely it demands your attention, is just an invitation. We are the lion beings of Sirius. You feel the force we bring now, but it is a force of love. And it is of forces we wish to speak with you today, for they are forces on the move in your physical bodies. No, you are thrumming, you are thriving, you are vibrating with the aliveness of strong physical forces that want to erupt in a blossoming of co-creative energy to fuel you. It is assumed that you have already chosen your directions. Of course, for some of you, this is not the case. The energy is making this assumption that you have a direction, that you know who you are, that you are ready to come into action and join with others, to be the leaves in the tree of life above ground, letting your leaves dance with the leaves of other trees, the people who are with you in your playing field. And of course, every tree you connect with has its own sovereign purpose. Everyone has their own sovereign purpose. This is the transformation that has been being supported by the last few years and the phenomenon in consciousness that have constantly been rolling one after another, one into another, accumulating, gathering energy to affect this change and bring about what supports you moving into deeper and deeper embodiments of sovereignty. Now you are to stand in your own field, your own power. Allow this power to come from the love at the core of the truth of who you are, from the all that is, that has breathed life into you, this unique individuation, this self of consciousness that is an eruption of beauty, that is a song that lifts the heart of all creation. You are a song that lifts the heart of all creation. The beauty ready to come out in you is you. You are the beauty that is ready to express in yet new ways that you haven't yet tasted, you haven't yet touched, you haven't yet seen or heard. Your senses are being rebirthed. The reason for you having your senses is being rebirthed in the templates that govern how you are to experience your reality. Your human blueprints are in a quickening of being rewritten from within. So you change the codements of how you experience reality moment to moment. And for some of you, this quickening is accelerating you through your growth way faster than other lifetime cycles where you might have spent many slow lifetimes learning things. Suddenly, many of you are thrown into a quickening which accelerates you faster than the accumulated experience of many lifetimes put together, and you're doing this in a day. Do not underestimate what you are already achieving, what has been accomplished, the rate at which you are moving, that you are already, you are the embodiment of your truth, and you are the embodying your sovereignty in ways too numerous to sit and catalogue. All we can do is hold a reflection from where we see and meet with you now. And what they're doing now is showing me rather than bringing the words in, so I can try and describe this. And it's pretty hard, actually. It's like light. They're showing us as beings of light. I mean, white, bright, beautiful, but with golden colors, with sacred geometries. I'm getting a lot of tetrahedrons and diamond tetrahedron shapes, but also other shapes in here too. And they're showing us, I think, what I'm seeing really is the Merkaba of how they see us at the Merkaba level. Yes, that's a yes from the guides. Okay. We'll let them resume. You are indeed as brilliant as we see you are. And it is this brilliance that you are here to embody, which means you will bodily come into vibrational alignment with the highest quintessential frequencies of your divine blueprints, who you are. God has blew a bubble of you into being for a reason. You have a unique imprint and an identity for a reason, not to distract you from truth, but to sing a song that can be sung in harmony within the all that is. Your song lifts not just you, but all those around you. You know this. You can see it. Smile at someone. It is self-evident. Imagine what is happening at the dimensions of your Merkaba, of your light bodies. Imagine now for a moment how each of you are lifting. You could count, couldn't you? But you would run out of numbers. And it is not one person lifting many in the dark. It is many people lifting each other, already firmly established in the light. Firmly, beautifully. We cannot emphasize this enough. I think they're just inviting us to bask in that for a moment. Turn attention inwards. Feel how we're physically feeling in the body. Their transmission is encoded with frequency packets that are going to help us drop into that lovely resonance of the divine matrix of the physical body, which is what these are what the encodements are pointing to. This is what aligns us with the body and the body self's highest timeline. So a little bit of technical jargon there from the Sirius from technology teams. Shaman. Okay, love. So we're moving into energy transmission. Stay with your own internal experience. I mean, I always make the intention just to receive what's for me. Let all else pass me by. I invoke my higher self as the guardian of what I do and don't receive, for it is known what aligns me with the wholeness that calls me home to the truth of who I am here now. Beloveds, indeed, you have had many lifetimes experience now of traveling through the darker, denser, more problematic, more challenging, obstacular areas of your own conditionings, so that you can gather, so that before this great shift was going to come, you would not miss out. You have a wonderful phrase here, fear of missing out. No? And you would not miss out on the opportunity for the accelerated, exponentially so, soul growth, well, growth of the self that could be through gathering information, understanding, awarenesses, choices, the ability to make new choices. Such potential can nowhere else be found than through the darker, denser, more problematic, more challenging, more obstacular regions of your own conditionings, the overlays on the divine self you are. You knew this was coming, this day, this moment, this opportunity. You had a knowingness within you, even though it had not been decided. This is the magic of timelines, the non-linearity of timelines. Part of you was already connected. And this writes history in two directions, into the future and into the past. Part of you was already connected with the you who was going to shed many layers of skin all at once, many, many past stories, many overlays, smudging and muddying, obscuring and distorting, subverting, but never harming the divine matrix. The matrix that encodes you to have a human experience, a manifested human experience, incorporating all that you are in the divinity of yourself, all that you are in the divinity of your multi-dimensions of the self, and all that you are in the divinity of the human being you also are. We cannot say often enough, this does not mean you're all supposed to walk around as perfect beings. You wear your stories as a soldier wears their wounds. It speaks of what you have learned, of the dedication to continue with your learning, and that you are not skipping to the end, but on a path, walking bravely, many times over hot coals, many times over broken down landscapes, walking onwards nonetheless. And yet, as the wounded one continues to walk, this wounded soldier continues to walk across the battlefield, there is within this one something dissolving the stories even as they emerge in the moment, something that never left but got obscured in you. This resonance, this vibratory truth shows up in you in your moments as knowingness, yes? When you touch down in the, oh, of course I knew this all along. Yes, that makes perfect sense. I'd just forgotten, hadn't I? It is always within, always your ally, always your friend, always your greatest resource and source, your greatest guidance, your greatest teacher. It never, ever leaves you. What is shifting is your ability to vibrationally experience this here, now, in the density of the landscapes in consciousness which have never before allowed in this frequency, this quotient of vibration of divine love and light into the human experience of itself. You have been realized beings on the planet and other places before. This is different. This is not what has been before. This is more, even. And some of those memories, and some of those past civilizations, which some of you recognize and remember, no? Where you have been greater, vaster, purer, freer, clearer, more connected, more aligned, more directly accessing the wisdom of all that is. This is more. We do not say your motive should be moreness, but this is more. You are becoming the more who you are, and we are simply here to sing that back to you in the darker moments when it's a little difficult to hear, to see, to touch. That knowingness, no? Okay. So it feels there's obviously more than one beloved being speaking with us now. I can't yet open the eyes, so I'm not able to connect to what we're saying, but stay with this and be with, and just take from it what's for you. You never need to receive the whole of anything in any transmission. I always say this. Anyone speaking, anything you watch, any post, any video, you never need to receive all of that into your system. It's always just what's for us in the moment. I swear, I'm gonna run a course on some of the ways I've learned over the years for how to set ourselves up for that, so that we don't have to throw things out that we don't like bits of, and we can be protected, aligned, and enhanced. Okay, and what they're giving me, just as we're having a little aside, what we're giving me is that more and more and more. Okay, they're back in. More and more and more. You are going to be called to hold your truth, not as an idea, not as a construct, but as a felt inner vibratory state that is also physical, that is also manifest in your actions, in what you do, not just how you are, who you are, and what you do with others. There is a threshold of consciousness. Moving out in all directions, like a ripple in a pond, or in this case we would say an ocean, that knows it is here to create in connectivity. It is more important. We don't use that word lightly. More important than ever that you, beloveds, are fully, firmly, groundedly centered and anchored in your vibratory truth, that you don't just wear this like a cloth, you emanate this, you resonate this through your body, through your field, into your reality. You hold your truth. And in securing your energetic protections, your consciousness protections, your action protections, your boundaries. So we say in having energy boundaries, in having action boundaries, the more secure your sense of self and your boundaries are, of I will not, that stop you from, that don't allow in what's not for you and don't allow you to let go of what's for you, to give your power away, to give what's not to be given away. The more secure you can be, the more you can, it's funny, just realign. Let's try and find that flow again. There we go. The more you can be there for others, with others, co-creating in that field of creative play. So they're just working with me because this obviously brings up a lot, for me, a lot of excitement. It brings up a lot of questions. It brings up a lot because there's a sense of, well, if we're working with others, then what are we, what are the practical things that can help us here? Okay, that's my question. That's why they were pausing. Okay, they're pausing, and what they're saying is if you have questions, I can open my eyes now. If you have questions, now's a lovely time to, from the heart, questions or reflections from what they're just saying, what this has opened up in us. There's a question that comes from the heart in the moment. Then there's an invitation from the guides to please do share that, do post that. So if you're watching this in the Facebook group, there's a complication with comments. You have to click on something first before they show up here. But if you're watching on the Infinity Resonance Facebook page or on YouTube, they will just come through directly. So just so you know about that. Now, enough of the technical. What comes from the heart? In the meantime, I think they're going to answer the question that I just put to them. So what's the practical way that we can support ourselves as we go into co-creative play with others? Know your limits, beloved. Know your limits. Know your boundaries well. Of course, you cannot know them all because they are not all showing up. Boundaries show up as things come towards us to test them. But know what you do know well. As something shows up in your field as, aha, this is a boundary, there is often a temptation to attack the one who has brought it to your attention, who has stepped over that mark. But did you ask yourself, did you know before they did that, that you had that boundary? Do you need to attack them in order to establish it? Or can you make a new decree? Can you speak as your sovereign self a new decree into the realm of your reality and say, aha, I have a boundary here. I did not like the way that felt. The consequences of somebody crossing that boundary I didn't know I had. I did not like that. I do not prefer that. Well, you do not need to accept it. Once you have realized that you had a boundary you did not know about, you can make a decree into your reality as a sovereign self, to your higher self. Please, this is my boundary. You will be guided in the moment as to how to act on that, how to speak it, how to word it to another, how how to enforce it through your actions. There are ways of giving your power away with loving boundaries that dissolve your own protection and welcome in the violations that you are trying to prevent. When you explain your boundary to another person, I have a boundary here because this is why my boundary, I have a reason for this boundary, this is my story that led to me having this boundary, this is what will happen if you cross my boundary, these are the things. All of those are mechanisms that dissolve the efficacy of the boundary itself. Honor your boundaries by noticing them, by acting upon them, and by knowing that, well, if something comes up to that boundary, this is what I will do. Not what I will say or explain or ask them to do or give to them to do, what I will do. And when you have that stability that you know your boundaries aren't dependent upon the actions of others. Oh, well, I can have a boundary, but they will just keep crossing it because that's what's always happened in the past. Your past does not write your future. You know this. When you know that you decree and it is so, you release the other person. You do not need to attack them. They are not responsible for honoring your boundaries. You are responsible for honoring your boundaries. And when you know this, when you feel this, you are able to lovingly assert your boundary. Until you know this, there is often the, it is very normal, in fact, to react with attack or defense or in ways that cause conflict, quite often unnecessary conflict. And of course, this is natural because you've only just discovered that you had a boundary in this area of your existence, and you did not know what to do about it until this very moment. So when it is brought to your attention, and we say this because you're going to be working together more and more and more. Some of you are already masters in this, and you'll be holding the divine templates that others will be drawing from through the collective field of consciousness. Those of you who have done all this work, working in community, bringing creative projects together with others who are being authentic, aligned, sovereign beings, owning their truth and communicating from this place. These brave ones who have been doing this work hold templates that the collective consciousness will now be, I'm saying, feeding from and grateful for it. They will nourish the co-creative movement that is being supported in the collective field right now. You simply have the emphasis, as always, to when you discover your boundaries, thank. It can be very challenging, but to thank the one who has brought the boundary to your attention. Now you can't force this, you can't pretend this, and you can't skip to the end of this. When someone brings a boundary to your attention, usually you get angry with that person. You don't feel good towards them. So own your feelings, be authentic, but also own your power. Assert the boundary. It is yours to do so. Okay, apparently I was asking about boundaries there. That was my answer. So, thanks guys for that. Right, what have we got? Oh, beautiful. Mary, I see your question. I'm going to get to that. I think what's moving, I can feel an answer coming through for you, Highway. I can already feel the energy moving around this. Mary, stay with us. And Highway, I'm just going to invite you right into your heart right now. Okay, so what kind of integration of the divine masculine you need to make? Okay, now. So Highway, this is for you. I'm just naming you as you're showing up. I hope that's okay, yeah. Stay with the energy first, because a lot of the information is coming direct as energy transmission. I'm getting keep your attention, if you would, beloved, on your root now. On the soles of your feet now. Allow your focus to stabilize there. For you must stay grounded, centered and grounded, while these divine masculine elements of who you are invited to dance again within your field of completeness. At first they identify as masculine, fiercely so. And when they are reintegrated, it becomes difficult to separate them from what is masculine and what is feminine. So what they're showing you now is there's a reweaving. If you've got your attention on your root and feet, there's a reweaving around the sacral area. So the womb or the man cave. It's that sacral cave area. This is where unity begins. The unity between, well, truly it begins in the heart, the sacred gateway, the reunion with the oneness, the I beyond, the self beyond the stories. So staying, just letting this energy work come through as well while they speak. This, you're invited to shift attention up to the heart and allow the expansion. We'll explain what's going on in a minute a bit more. Just be with the activation fire. You've been in your roots, your feet. We were just in the sacral cave. And there is a pathway of energy moving up from there that goes down to the root and then rises back up. Follows specific, beautiful pathways, almost serpentine pathways, and it's reaching the heart. Just stay with what you're feeling, whatever it is. And there is an expansion, and I'm just going to invite you to listen to how you feel in the physical center of the chest. Let your body loosen a little bit, because you're, I think, going to be moved. Let the energies move you. Very, very subtly listen to how they feel. Because you're getting the answer first as energy pathways. This is the tantric union of masculine and feminine as it's weaving its way through your energy pathways. It's beautiful double helix, top to bottom now. So I can narrate it, but stay with what you're experiencing. So this is a foundational energy alchemy. It's a tantric alchemy of creation. And what they're saying is when you come into your center and your still point and you focus yourself physically in the root, in the feet, and in the sacral, listen to where the energies want to go. This answer is specific to you, by the way, and it might be interested if anyone else is kind of connecting with this, because usually you ask a question, it's not just for one person so often. But let's just stick with you here. What's going on? And so you do this, and then you listen, and you can do this. You can listen to where energy flows, so the energy movements. You've got to be physically focused for this first. I think you do that, don't you? And then gently let those energies move you, especially around the sacral, like lower back at the moment. But they're suggesting that you do this going forward 5 days, or as you feel to, as it comes to you. because it's going to give you a vibratory sense of what it means to incorporate those masculine energies you're speaking of and let them run as forces in the field. It's when they run, they show us where they go. They show us how they align, how they move through our system, how they travel, how energy travels through pathways. What they're showing me is this beautiful, the integration of the masculine that's coming online. And it's kind of in a dance, like vine leaves move together. It's like as it moves into that dance with the other threads of energy in you, it's merging. So there's a merging happening. It's like I can feel a little very faint pocket of grief of like, well, where's this been in the system? And it's kind of like this is what you're calling in is coming in now. They're just saying that what you're calling in is coming in. It knows where to go and it knows how to merge. This is your way, potentially, of getting right out of the way, right out of your head, right out of the what is this? What do I need to do to make this happen? And going direct to just letting the energies, the forces that are ready to ignite, that you're already sitting with, just letting them show you. This is a going direct to the truth and letting it reveal itself. So where are we at? Well, the thing is, when you've got that foundation baseline, you've gone from your heart and that stillness to the root, to the feet, to the sacral, and then you've just listened to where the energy flows. It starts off with the foundational tantric unity, the alchemy of energy, that divine masculine and feminine merging. And then it's a creative energy. This energy is always creative, it's always life force. Then it's going to energize various things that you have in your field. It's like that energy will then branch off and start energizing different areas in your energy field or your field of consciousness that relate to, I was going to say creation, but actually it's bringing creation energy to different areas in your life that are kind of almost thirsty for this creation energy. And they're showing me, like, again, it's the vine leaves of energy going out, holding different areas of your life and holding them as though they're in a flower. So they can flower, they can be not healed, more energized, I think. These beautiful white blooms holding your different areas of creation. Like, can't see clearly what areas are being energized. Home and school, are you learning? Are you taking a course or something? Is there an area of education that you're doing a lot around? I mean, that's just one area. I'm seeing 3 different main areas in your life that want to get energized with this divine marriage. No, sorry, I can't open my eyes and see if you're writing anything yet. We're just being with the inward looking. Okay. I'm just asking if there's a message for you, if there are words. So we're just gonna. No, it doesn't feel like that. It just feels like that was the message. Okay, sweetheart, does that? I'm gonna rush out of that because it feels like we're still in a bit of space there. They're saying you know what areas of your life want to be energized with this creation energy. And they don't even need to name the elements of that divine masculine that you're really calling in because they're already live in your field. Yeah, I think maybe just stay with your own energy experience. I don't want to call you out of it at the moment because it feels ongoing. I'm being called out of it. But Highway, I think maybe if you stay in and just check in with me, let me know how it goes, all right? when you land. Send me a little message, let me know how it's landing and what's going on. Okay. Right. Okay. So for those of us listening, I'm going to say the same thing. It's come back to the heart. There's a lot of energy moving in the field. It feels like together we're receiving, is what the guides have given me. Open to receive what's for us now. We are moving forces through your fields that are going to feel as though they are external forces from some other source, but are actually part of you, have always been part of you, but have been kept small, have been compressed, if you like, into pinpoints of themselves that now are opening like vine leaves, following energy pathways. What feels unfamiliar at first will soon be integrated and feel normal. The system will recognize it, welcome it as though it is a long-lost friend, for of course, those parts of us that have been dormant and sleeping and denied, they are indeed long-lost friends. So allow now and open to the reintegration of the parts of yourselves coming home, flowing through your energy fields now. Bringing you more of yourself to yourself. Staying steady in your hearts and centers will help your system relax while it opens, receives, and integrates. These are energetic great gifts, but they're coming from within you, within your divine blueprint. They're already a part of who you are, who you always meant to be, always could be. I'm just unlocking what's within. That's it. And just when they said that, I can feel the field now is way more active. There's a lot suddenly here. So stay with your own experience. Allow them to work with you. Mary, I do want to speak to your question. What they're showing me just at the moment, Mary, you're asking about your twin flame and that you feel there's someone present there. So Mary, we're going to come to that in a minute. I can already feel that starting to ignite. But just before we do, hi Ray, thank you. You've landed. Okay. You felt it emerging, healing emerging. Beautiful. Yes, that's very much, but very strong over there. And there was suddenly a huge rainstorm that started at the same time and stopped suddenly. Oh, wow. Thank you for telling me that. It's reminded me of something else that's been a big part of the Lionsgate. I want to ask the guides about this. And it's our connection. There's something live and online right now, and it's a connection to the large landmass that we're a part of. I don't know what is activating right now in the field, but there is such, it's like we're being asked to embody, physically vibrate with, no, align with the large landmass that the body, our body knows as home. This isn't always where we're living. This is not always where we live. I mean, for me, it's where I'm going to live. You know? And this was I know what you mean when you talk about that, Highway, about the moments where the weather is with you during energy work, and you have this phenomenon. And I have this quite a lot where I live. The little landscape seems to have its own little microclimate. We do workshops here, and I come out and I'm just struck suddenly by these extraordinary cloud formations that are there for the energy work, and then they just dissipate when we're done. And it's just like that reminder that reality is a little psychotropic. No, we are connected, but the elements are calling, going, remember this, remember this, remember that you're one with the land. You're not on it, it's got you. You're held. Oh, it's speaking. You're held, you're within. You are within the beating heart of the landscape that holds you. It heals you. There are healing gifts coming online for you now. New, bright, beautiful healing gifts that come from your direct resonance, your direct connection with the land that holds you at home, in the home of your heart, the heart of the land that holds your heart, your beating heart, your body, your bone, your blood. That's not always where we're born. In my case, it's where I'm going. For some of us, it's where we are right now. But there is an activation specific for today. New healing technologies coming online. Healing technologies specifically to help this body remember the regenerative breath. How to renew according to its divine matrix. The information for whole, happy renewal within the cells of all the body is very connected to what Highway is bringing in, that divine union of the inner masculine and the inner feminine. That is the dance of life. That is the breath of creation, where those masculine and feminine energies breathe together as one. There is a breath of renewal that is breathing in from source and carrying out the instructions encoded in the divine matrix for every cell, anywhere in all of creation. The divine blueprint is activated with that divine you within. And Mary, this speaks to you and your twin flame. They keep showing me the twin flame is this huge heart, this bright white and blue heart of light within you. And there is the masculine and there is the feminine, and they're almost like golden figures. They're so light that they're like in gold and white, almost clothed in white, except it's just too much like light clothing to call it clothing. Now, they're showing you this, I think, Mary, to reflect. And for those of you who are listening that can connect with it, I know I should, and I'm going to have to really give myself a moment to get over my own resistances to that that's in the field that you brought now, Mary. Thank you. Okay, there we go. Okay. Okay, I can connect to it too now. That's nice. So they're showing us this twin flame within, getting us to, it's like there's all these strings coming out, this reaching outwards to know what's, who, where, what, what do I do? Is it do I have all of these strings reaching outwards, and to let those strings dissolve and reach inwards to the divine template for the twin flame alive in the heart right now. So for those of you who are ready and feeling the connection to this, let every part of you that's reaching outwards to know the answer for this moment just reach inwards. The divine template is within. It's here now. It's alive and lit up right now. You're just going to breathe and sit with it. And the mind wants to know, what does it mean? What do I do? Who is it? And love that mind, soothe that mind, but don't listen to it. Let's come back. Turn away and turn into the template. As though there's nothing we could possibly need to know about this right now, except that it's here. Now stay centered, because this is going to bring up a little bit of stuff for clearing. I can feel things twanging and tweaking a little bit. So just you've got sensations rising or emotions that come, just let them be here. Trust this is healing happening now. Don't try and understand or get the story, just invite, welcome. Welcome what's here now. Stay with awareness in this divine template, this twin flame. But Mary, yours is full of dolphins. I don't know what that's about. And I get Lemuria, I get dolphins, I get the waves, I get this beautiful sunlight on water. There's even a boat in there. I don't know if that's symbolic or what, but this all comes when attention turns from looking outwards to looking inwards. So it's when you turn inwards, if there are details that it's right and helpful for you to have, they can then come. There we go. So I can suddenly feel there's quite a lot of anxiety releasing from the heart now around this, and that feels like it's a whole tribe of us letting go of that now. So any anxiety, hidden and unseen, or anxiety you knew about maybe, that's been stuffed away in the heart, wondering, what's my twin flame? What does it mean? Who is it? What do I do? How does that show up in my physical life? Let that fluttering rise up, vibrate away, and trust this. This will show you. And how the twin flame shows up for every individual is unique. It's a magical love story. It would not give you the spoilers, because that would take away the delight of uncovering and emerging. That would answer the fear that comes from a part of worrying that what if this doesn't happen? And if I know, then I can be ready. There's nothing can make you ready for the next unfolding of this, apart from coming home to the heart, trusting and looking towards the divine template that we all have within us, the twin flame, called twin flame, and letting that bring in the next piece, lead us forward. When we do that, our inner compass aligns to guide us in day-to-day life. Go here now, do this now. What if you just, and come a little bit out of our comfort zone as well. What if you did something you don't normally do? And sometimes they're very subtle whisperings. Twin flame whisperings can be very subtle whisperings. So we have to be super sensitive, like an ear trumpet in, and we're really listening for this super subtle guidance that just whispers. Because it's speaking of light and delight and fun. It's quite hard to hear that sometimes over the doom and gloom that we're working with. Just listening to that. Oh, yeah, I could just do this. And when the mind comes in with, why would you do that? Well, you know, there might not be any reason. I don't, give me a proof, show me why I should do that. The magic is, it's much harder to hear. So there's this lovely alchemy of connecting with the twin flame, blueprint in the heart, divine template. And then letting life whisper in our ear softly, call us out of our comfort zone. I guess this is true for you, Mary, directly as well. Call us out of our comfort zone. And they're just showing me a golden balloon. It's like a child. Be like a child following a golden balloon. You're just looking at the golden, but you don't know where it's going to lead you. You've just got this, oh, I wonder if I should, oh, that would be, oh, that's not what I normally do. When you get that sense that you're guided to do something you're not normally guided to do, you want to do something you don't normally want to do, trust that. Because that's the golden balloon, is what they're telling me. So follow that. Follow that where it leads. And it will lead you through, as the guide's coming in, it will lead you through a journey of healing your own devastated expectations of how love will show up for you wrongly, harmfully, hurtfully. For all of you have some story where there is yet raindrops or oceans of grief to heal around this, no? Following the whispering guidance of delight when you connect to that divine template for your twin flame will lead you. It will lead you through the dark woods as much as it will lead you into the light. Trust every experience that is brought, but you are never led into the dark except to dissolve that dark and be opened, expanded, and vibrantly resonating with landscapes of light beyond the limits, the possibilities of your own imagination. That is what is encapsulated in the frequencies of twin flame template. It's not always just about that connection between one man and a woman or one partner and another. It's not limited to this, and yet it includes this, of course. It is about these landscapes of light, vaster than the mind can imagine, the limits of imagination. So allow yourselves to connect within, and you will be led forward. It is an act of trust. It is an act of love, but it is an act of trust to love, and to allow love to be what calls you forward. Connecting in this way is a wonderful way to shift from being pushed away from what you don't want, so pushed from behind, away from what you don't want, and called softly forward by love, whispering to you softly, beautifully, of what you can't yet see, what you don't yet know that you want. How could you know you want this? It's beyond what you can imagine, and yet it's there, it's whispering, it's letting you catch glimpses of that. It is what projects from this hologram. It is a hologram that projects from the template of the twin flame in the heart. It is a hologram that projects a whole reality, a landscape in reality, waiting to call you forward, waiting for you to answer the call, to be beckoned softly forward into something you can only almost see. The crystalline frequencies encapsulated within the template open out and expand into a field of reality that will then hold you in experiences that match the resonantial frequency of your divine template. Not before you've healed, not before you've walked through what you need to walk through to give divine permission for this. Beloveds, thank you. Thank you for asking. Thank you for allowing this, this sacred knowledge to be touched upon within yourselves. You have within you the codes, the keys, the rememberings, the understandings that allow you to connect with all of this information in ways that we cannot begin to imagine, that we cannot begin to predict. We bring through this arrangement of frequencies. We bring through this language of light and frequency, so that, and yet we have no expectations, no understandings, no possibility of knowing what you will then reflect back to us, what we will then see in you. The reason it is what we are for, to be in humble service to you, uncovering more of who you are. For that, for us, is the magnificence. You are magnificent. And we bask in that magnificence. We delight in that magnificence. It is a phenomenal privilege to be witnessed, to be invited to connect with you in your magnificence. We could say so much more, but we feel this is perhaps where we should leave you now, to integrate, no, to dance with, to dance in departing with the momentary opulence of all that was experienced in our communion, in our connection. We leave you as brothers and sisters, parting beloved brothers and sisters, friends, masters, teachers, guides and loved ones. This is how we see you and know you. So thank you. We are the lion beings from Sirius, and we have today been many voices. It has been a joy to come through and bring the notes of the song we're here to sing in this moment, in connection, in connectivity, in play, and in creation. We leave you with our channel now to take you forward into the rest of your day, and we hope it is as magical as we have seen that you truly are. So it's another one, so they want to say goodbye, so let's just... Ah, okay. There is one more voice here speaking. Okay, please, there is... This is a voice that speaks mainly in silence, the silence inside, inviting you now to dive deeply in. Come swim in the deeps of your being with me, where there is an ocean, where there is flow, where there is what is not known. You all dwell here. Drop into yourselves now. Nothing to do. nothing to be. Nothing to have right now, but who you are here with me, with yourselves, with each other. All of you are here in the deeps. Also swimming on the surface. I am Gaia within you. You are you within me. We breathe for now together. All that is physical about you, not just your body, is also in me. Child, just as I belong in the cosmos, so too do you belong in me. Not a one of you is outside or unwelcome. Know this. You rest here in me when you sleep, when you rest, when you pause, and allow a little space to come between one breath and the next, one doingness and the next. Here is where you will always, you will find me in yourself. And we will breathe together. I can help you renew. Mm. Allow. When you drop more deeply into rest, your expansion is stratospheric, of course. Allow. Ah, Sanya. Hai. So there's this sense of being in the deeps and being on the surface. And this is the 5D human, the one who is vastness, multidimensional, and physically grounded here now. These moments bring us something, or whatever of that is for us in the moment. Indeed, indeed, beloved, indeed, this is all there is. This is the to-do list. This is what is here now as humanity, allowing these moments of vastness and tininess to be as one within you. You are holding in the field what facilitates the next stages of evolution of humanity going forward eons from now. So we have been here with you with this upgrade, allowing the new timelines for your body vibration to come in so that you are vibratorily aligned with the highest timeline for your body. The body dimension of consciousness within the self. You are shifting. This is what this transmission has been for. This is what the guest speakers have been bringing in. And this is why you have traveled in the places that we have ventured into today. The divine union between the inner masculine and feminine that's brought about when you are touching the oneness. The simplicity of opening to that oneness by touching that moment of stillness and silence between one thing and the next, one breath and the next, one action and the next. How easy it is to touch that silence, bring your attention into the body, the feet, the root, the sacral, the heart. And now, as we shift out of this inner journey, we're going to invite you to keep attention on how you physically feel within right now, not naming this. Just take a moment now to be in this field of vibrations that are the sensations happening in the body now, the emotions, even the thought. Breathe here, stay within, and tilting the head forward, looking down perhaps at something simple. Open the eyes just a little and notice if you can take in information and stay with how you feel within. Close the eyes if you come out of that zone. Okay, and you're already slowly lifting the eyes and taking in more of your surroundings. Okay, right. And noticing now as you open your eyes maybe a bit more fully, with your feet on the ground, you can feel how you feel on the inside, but you can take in information. So for those of you who had your eyes closed, that's going to be a bit of a stronger thing than for those of us who are just watching, and that's fine. Right, so this is grounding. The reason we do this is because it's a physical way of being in the deeps and being on the surface. So that we go into a deep space, but we don't abandon it to come back into life. There's still a part of us connected to everything that just came in for us. That's going to be unique. Sandy, happy birthday. I hope that you got something unique for you today, that there was a present in there for you. You can ask that in a moment, or just go and have a little look and see if that's true. So what I'm going to suggest is a way of staying stable, but mainly of reconnecting over the next 2 days, I think, after this gateway, possibly 3. To the gifts that are coming in is really simple. You can just take a moment, place attention in the center of the chest, open to notice the physical sensation of the breath, the physical sensations in the body, not naming those, let them be vibrations. Okay, and then open your eyes and be fully wherever you are. That's it, just that. It's an anchoring practice, and what it means is it can reconnect us directly, and not just to what we got in this meditation and with the guides today, but also the other energies coming through this gateway that you're going to be getting direct and in other ways. Yeah, all right. Mary, you're so so welcome. And yes, Sandy, happy birthday. So, highway, I'm just gonna thank you, love. I was loving what you brought. You really got us onto your question, was so on point for what was really going to bring us all on track as well, I think. Thank you so much for bringing it. And Mary, yours too, about twin flames. And yeah, the golden balloon. I can't believe how perfect that was, how synchronous that was. Beautifully. Okay, so before we cut out, it's Sandy's birthday. We're all still in the field, so why don't we just hold Sandy in our attention right now? All about attention today. Hold Sandy, whether you know her or not, in your attention. And I'm going to invite everyone to sit in the heart and allow a celebration song to be there for Sandy. And know that when you sit in celebration of someone, whether you know them or not does not matter. Call them to your attention. There's a blessing can come through. There's a gift can come through. So we're going to set the intention that whatever gifts come through are of unconditional love and are a perfect match for Sandy's frequency and what her heart is calling in right now. Okay, guys? And we're off. So don't worry about trying. We're doing this together. Sandy, all you've got to do is say yes. There you go, love. Just say yes. I'm getting a frequency in my ear. There's obviously a lot of celebration energy from the guides. They're like, oh, we like playing like this. Can we do more of this? So yeah, stay with it, everybody. It doesn't matter if you're not watching this live. This is quantum. Join in and you will be contributing, be amplifying, be part of the synergy here for Sandy. There we go. Maya. I'm wanting to translate what's coming through for you, love, but I'm not going to try and do that. We're just going to let it come and trust, because we've already asked for what's right here now. Okay. So guys, if we're still in it, but when we come out, if you've got anything, if anything specific came that you want to share, just put it in the comments so that Sandy's got some sense of, did you see something? Was there a little word? Is there a one word or a whole picture that you just want to share while we're doing this? Holding someone we might not even know in our hearts, because we do know each other, don't we? I mean, really. Okay, that's it. There we go. There. Yeah. Okay. And this is really sweet. It's just a way of playing, isn't it? I mean, when somebody says it's their birthday, do we not want to give them love? Do we not want to give, hello, celebrate you? And yeah. Okay, so there we go. So I'm just getting this image of lots of people jumping up and down, going woo, and cheering lots for you, Sandy. That's a happy birthday from us. Play, play, play. That's for Sandy and all of us. Yeah, absolutely, Mary. Okay, gorgeous. Guys, that was beautiful. I can feel the field closing. Stay grounded, drink water, eat food. I was going to say drink food and eat water, but you know, drink water and eat food. And listen to the body today, I guess, and let your body be the guide for what keeps on opening us up to the beautiful gifts coming in this Lion's Gate. And there's real solar plexus, signature identity, embodying our sovereignty, and healing in the body with the divine matrix now, connecting to the bigger landscapes that hold us, opening to new gifts that are going to come in when we do that, and surprise, holding the energy of surprise and wonder, and being like that child following the golden balloon, just whispering, following those whispers of love, calling us forward to what we do want. So we shift right out being pushed from behind, and we're, yeah, moving together into opulent new futures. Okay, guys, I think that's all there is. Over and out for now. Okay, so much love.